Every company that has ever existed has had competition. It doesn't matter whether you're doing a groundbreaking product or not. I guarantee you, you have competition. Think about it. It's the old way of doing things. So it doesn't matter that you believe you don't have competition. You do. And the question becomes, what do you do about your competition? As Martin, a very senior customer applications engineer, once said to me about dealing with competitors, it's like hand-to-hand combat when you're competing directly with another company to win a big deal. And we're going to talk about this in today's video. So let's get started. What do you do? Okay, here are 7 steps to dealing with your competition, plus an 8th bonus step into dealing with your competition. Let's start with step number 1. Take your competitors seriously. My basic rule whenever I'm doing a competitive analysis is I assume the company and the people that I am competing with are smarter than me. They're better than me. They're working harder than me. So therefore, I know I'm taking them really seriously. I'm going to assume that there's a best case outcome for this company, and I'm going to assume that they're going to do the right thing in whatever they're doing, and therefore I know that I'm going to be on my game when I'm competing with them. That's step number 1. Take your competition seriously. If you do that, you're ahead of everybody else, because most people, what do? They discount their competition. They say the competition sucks. They say the competition, they're not good, the team isn't good, whatever it is, and then they get surprised, they get blown out of the water. You don't want that to happen to you. Step number 2, build a perceptual map like Steve Jobs did when he introduced the iPhone. Now, here's the perceptual map that Jobs did. I'm going to show it to you right now. There it is. And you can see a perceptual map is just a 4-quadrant map. It's got an x-axis and a y-axis, and you can define the x and the y-axis. And you can see how simple Jobs' is. This is gold standard stuff here. And this is what you want to do, is put all your competitors on this map in terms of features that are important to your customers and how you believe your customers view the world. Now you put yourself on this map too. Where are you and where do you want to be? And now you can see the world in a way that nobody else can. That's the beauty of this. And that's the power of this. Yes, this is business school 101. Who cares? It works. And it works really well, because now guess what? This frames your whole marketing strategy if you do this right. And that's what Jobs did. It's beautifully brilliant to do. You can do the exact same thing. Try it. Step number 3, build a baseball card deck of each company you're competing with. Now, what do you put in this deck? Well, you put the strengths of the company. You put the weaknesses of the company. You put, what does this mean to you in terms of their strengths and weaknesses? Because what do we care, right? If it doesn't mean anything to you, who cares? It's got to mean something to you. And what do you think they're going to do next based on all of this? And you can put it in this little baseball card format. Somebody I work with taught me this one. I'd always done the analysis, but I loved his idea of the little baseball card thing. He did this for his data room when he was raising money, and I thought it was just absolutely brilliant. Try it. It works really, really well. And it's great because now you have a simple listing of all your competitors and what they do and their strengths and weaknesses. Super idea. That's step number 3. Step number 4, don't race to the bottom. Sell on value, not on price. If you're selling on price, that's like the death knell for a startup. Now, why is this? Because if you're selling just on price, are you going to really have a price advantage as a small startup versus anybody else in the world? Probably not. So why would you do this? Don't. Instead, sell on the inherent value of your product in the marketplace. Value comes in many shapes and form. not just price. Value comes in terms of the performance, the ease of use, the customer service, the quality. There are all sorts of things which determine the value of your product. Understand that in the way that your customers view things. And that's how you can price your product and avoid the race to the bottom. Because the race to the bottom, when you start cutting your price and your competitor cuts their price, it's like going down a drain. You don't want that. Try and avoid it at all costs. This leads us exactly to step number 5, the value equation. Now, what is the value equation? Well, the value equation is this. It's the price of your product times the value you provide. Now, this is a subjective measure. That's the value equation. That gives you a number. Let's say your price on a pricing scale versus your competition, you're a 7. And the value you're providing is an 8. Well, you can take the 7 times an 8 and that gives you a score of 56. Well, what's the value of your competition? Well, you have to guess at that too. You have to say, okay, on the things that matter to us in terms of value to our customers, let's say they score a 6. And let's say their price is 60% lower than yours. Well, that gives them a score. And now you can compare them to you in terms of who's providing more value to customers. It's not just price. That's the value equation. Try it, add it into your mix of things to look at when you're figuring out how to compete against a tough competitor. Number 6, have a warboard mentality. Now, what's a warboard? Now, this is something I learned from the late Jack Gifford, the founding CEO of Maxim Integrated Products. He built Maxim up to over $2 billion a year in revenue from nothing. And Jack was a brilliant marketer. And one of the things that he taught me was the warboard. Now, what's a warboard? Now, a warboard is when you're managing every single movement that you're doing and you know who will do what by when for every single thing that you're doing on any important project, sales call, whatever it is. You can use this. It's brilliant for sales. This is essentially a souped up CRM, but you manage every single deal, every single opportunity. And this is the difference if you have a great product between having 30% market share and 90% market share. This is how I learned the power of this, is because if you manage the details, and this is what a warboard is all about, and you follow up on every single detail, this is how you win, and you win big. It'll drive everybody crazy in your company. People will get pissed, but you know what? If you need to do it, it's absolutely worth it to do it. Try it. It works like crazy. Now, number 7 on my list. And this is the flip side of being successful. The bigger you are, the bigger the target is on your back. As your company becomes more and more successful, it is guaranteed that you are going to have more and more competitors coming after you. They're going to try and copy you. They're going to try and leapfrog you. They're going to try and steal your best people. Understand that this is all part of competition. So what do? You stay ahead of them. You pay your people well. You keep them happy. You're moving fast, and you're not getting complacent. That's how you beat a tough competitor once you have that target on your back. And that target, by the way, from experience, it never goes away. But you can do it. Just don't get complacent. That's how you win. Now we get to the bonus one on our list. Always be thinking about how to develop breakthrough products. Now, the brilliance of breakthrough products. Now, why am I talking about breakthrough products? I thought we were talking about competition. Well, here's the beauty of breakthrough products. When you have breakthrough products, that limits the effectivity of your competitors. And therefore, it makes it easier to compete because almost by definition, you're going to be dominating the marketplace when you do this right. This is how you win and win big. Think big, think different. Think about how you can own a marketplace, how you can do something that's not just a little bit better than your competition, but 10x better. Think even bigger than that. How can you do something that's 100% bigger? One of the things that I loved to do was challenge the people that I worked with to what I called ignore physics. Now, what does this mean? If you're working in an engineering company, how do you ignore physics? It's just that simple. What do you really want, assuming there are no limitations on what you can do? And it's amazing what happens when you start thinking this way, and you can really open up your mind and think about, wow, I can do anything. What would I do? You define it that way, and you figure out what your limitations are, and you get pretty close sometimes. Or sometimes maybe you're meeting with this one customer who talks to you about using your product in a way you've never thought of before. Oh, I love customers like that. And they're telling you, hey, I'm using this product this way. And you start thinking, I'll bet you there are 100 other customers who'd love to do the exact same thing that you're doing. And then you design a product that does exactly what they want in a way that nobody else has done. And you know what? I've had meetings like that with one customer and built $100 million businesses off of that one idea that a customer pointed us to, because we thought about it and we recognized, this is a totally different way of thinking. And if we do it this way, we're going to come up with a breakthrough idea, a breakthrough product, and win big. That's the beauty of thinking different and thinking about breakthrough products. That's what you want. That's how you win. That's how you limit your competition. And that's how you win big in the competitive game. But take these 7 steps seriously, and it'll keep the target off your back and allow you to win. I'm Brett at brettjfox.com. Have a great, let's add one more great in there, day. Thank you.